step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn Podcast. I am your host, Dino. As well with me hosting, I got my boy, Khalil.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, bro. Let's talk.
Yes, sir. My boy Day is out of town right now. You know, he be taking flights, doing his thing.
With his Browns.
But hey, man, this is going to be one of our quicker episodes today, man. But y'all know we're going to start the episode off with the regular Week 16 picks. Going to go through all the games. Going to tell y'all who we think going to win and why. We seen Ja Morant. We seen him go crazy last night, man. Ja Morant is back. It is his return. Now we're going to talk about it. Now we're going to see what we expect. Got to talk about that one. And then we're going to finish off with the signing day. You know, signing day is pretty much all week. Everybody signs at a different time at their different schools. But a lot of kids making their dreams come true, signing the big-time programs. We're going to be talking about it here. Lil, kick us off with our first topic.
Yes, sir. You know, we got to start it off with the Week 16 picks. That's right. Week 16. We're finally here. Only 3 more weeks of the regular season left, boy. Football season is going by fast. But we got to get it off with Thursday night football, Saints versus Rams. Who you got in that one?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna stick with the Rams in this one. Rams at home, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the Rams in this one. I don't got no problem with the Saints. I just feel like they've just been a little inconsistent this year, man. They need this. Both of these teams need this win. This is going to be a very scrappy game from both teams because they both desperately need this win in this late playoff push. But I'm gonna go with the Rams. I just feel like they've been looking pretty good on offense, and the Saints have not been looking the best on offense. I'm not counting that Giants game. I don't care what nobody say, but I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well in this one. Rams at home. They're favored at -4. When you look at what the offense has been doing as of late with Kyren Williams coming back, I think that's been the biggest factor to get this whole Rams offense going. When they were able to run the ball so efficiently with Kyren Williams, you know, that opens up the passing game. And as of late, Matt Stafford hasn't been turning over the football. And when you just look at the Saints team, they just been a lot like way too inconsistent for me. You don't know what you're going to get on a week-to-week basis. They have or a drive-to-drive basis at that. Sometimes they look like they could be one of the best offenses in the league, and other times you can't recognize who the hell is playing. So I think that's the biggest issue for me in the for the Saints right now. So I'm gonna go with the Rams to get the dub at home on Thursday Night Football. On to the Saturday slate. We got 2 Saturday games this week. First game on the docket. Steelers versus the Bengals, divisional AFC North matchup. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Bengals, bro. I'm gonna be honest. The Bengals has been a team that hasn't backed down even without their starting quarterback and Joe Burrow. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. Browning has stepped up, man. He just stepped up. He's not Joe Burrow. We know that he's not a starter. He's just a rookie. We know all this, bro. This is stuff that we know. But at the end of the day, he's stepping up and he's been winning games. I think he's 2-0 as a starter for them right now. So, I mean, that speaks for itself. The Steelers have been having offensive issues themselves. They're starting Mason Rudolph on Saturday, which I don't even know how that's going to go. Every quarterback on their roster right now just doesn't look too right. So, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals as well. Like you mentioned, Jake Browning, he's been very good in his last 3 starts. He's 3-0 in his last 3 starts.
Oh, 3. I said
Yeah,
2.
3-0 against the Jags, the Colts, and the Vikings last Saturday in overtime. So 2 of them has been overtime wins as well. But when you look at what he's been doing, he's been playing very, very good. On Friday, I'm sorry. On Saturday, he went 324, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And, you know, he got playmakers to make plays for him. He might not have Jamar Chase this week. We're going to see on that. That's to be decided. but you still got a number one, a solid receiver in T. Higgins. You still got Tyler Boyd. You can still run the football with Joe Mixon. I like what they got on the defensive side of the ball as well with Sam Herbert, Trey Hendrickson getting out the pass after the pass rush. I just think they got everything's in front of them. Whatever they want, they got right in front of them. And as for the Steelers, they've just been a team that's been spiraling as of late. Like they just look off when you start to talk about culture wise. The offense is not right. You started Mason Rudolph this week, so you're down to your third string quarterback because your second string wasn't getting it done. Your first string is out. The receivers, we ain't even got to talk about what they've been doing. They've been loafing all year pretty much. If you know, you know. So I think they got some issues they need to figure out internally. And I think Bengals got them at the right time. So give me the Bengals in this one. On to the second of the two Saturday games. We got the Buffalo Bills traveling to LA to play the LA Chargers.
I'm taking the Bills in a blowout, to be honest with you. The Bills are rolling, and the Chargers just declining week by week. We just seen them get smoked by the Raiders. That's something that I don't think anybody's seen coming, especially from the Raiders. But the Chargers have not looked good all year. They just fired Brandon Staley. I don't know if that's going to make them better or even worse. I'm going to be honest with you because we just don't know right now. But I'm going to go with the Bills. Like I said, they've been on fire. I feel like they've been disrespected. I've disrespected them multiple times. I feel like they've heard that. And they've been on fire ever since, bro. Ever since the Eagles beat them, I don't think they've lost the game. So, I mean, this is definitely a more than winnable game for them.
Yeah, give me the Buffalo Bills as well. They have been rolling, especially what they just did with against Dallas this past week at home. They finally got James Cook involved. They finally found a balance, run pass. If they're able to run a football, it takes a lot of what a lot of people don't like about Josh Allen out of the game, the turnovers, the issues, the superhero plays that he feel like he needs to make all the time. And when we look at this Chargers team, we just seen them get 63 points put up on them last Thursday with Ano O'Connell and them boys. Like, this is a team that's looking for the end of the season. They can't wait for the season to be over. They could get a new coach, new GM, bring in some new energy into that facility because they really needed it. Their team, Justin Herbert's already out for the season. They're a team that's looking forward to next year. I think they pack it in. The Bills jump on them early and take control of this game, and we could see another big game from James Cook. I'm not gonna lie.
Josh Allen playing in good weather, man. Bet him the over.
For sure.
Take the over. Josh Allen in good weather. Take the over.
On to the Sunday slate of games. Big matchup with big playoff implications. You got the 9-5 Cleveland Browns going to Houston to take on the 8-6 Houston Texans. Who you got in this game?
Is CJ gonna play?
So he didn't practice as of Wednesday. He's still in protocol, but I mean, I would assume that he'll get cleared in time to play by Sunday.
If CJ gets cleared, I'm 100% going with Houston. But either way, I'm gonna go with Houston in this, man. Like I said, it's another team that's been rolling, bro. Another team that has been surprising the league. An 8-6 team on a playoff push. None of us expected this, but they are a great football team. Even with all the injuries around them, they still found a way to get it done. Noah Brown has been a solid replacement for what the injuries has brought this offense. And he's been producing. We know they got Dalton Schultz. He's been great. And he was great on Dallas, and now he just went there, bought that veteran power, and he's great there. The Browns, don't get me wrong, the Browns did look decent when they wasn't turning the ball over with Joe Flacco. I mean, when Joe Flacco turned the ball over, it was bad. But other than that, he actually had a pretty solid game coming towards the end. But I just don't think he's the answer, bro. If he turns the ball over like that on this offense, it's not going to look good for them. So I'm taking the Texans.
I'm going with the Cleveland Browns in this one. I like what I've been seeing from Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco showed that he can still play NFL caliber football. He's been rolling as of late. He won 2 straight against the Jaguars and the Bears, that comeback win he had last week. So I'm gonna stay with the hype, especially when you talk about that Cleveland Browns defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. Myles Garrett.
They're not playing at home.
Yeah, they're still one of the best defenses. So I'm gonna take them in this one, especially with the up in the air of a lot of players on that offensive side for Houston Texans. When you talk about if CJ Stroud gonna play, he most likely is gonna get cleared. You still got to worry about Noah Brown. He's on the injury report with a knee. You got Nico Collins on the injury report with a calf. So we don't know who's in, who's going to be out. So I think they just got a lot of pieces, that's of question right now. And if you're not 100% healthy at this point, especially against this defense with Denzel Ward and them boys on the back end, it could be a long game. And like I said, Joe Flacco shown that he could play NFL caliber football still. He still got it at the age that he's at right now. Give me Cleveland to win at Houston and get that upset dub and pretty much almost certainly secure them a playoff spot. Next game on the docket is two teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. You got the Washington Commanders traveling to New Jersey MetLife to play the New York Jets. Who you got?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna take the Jets in this one, mainly just because of that defense. We know that Sam Howell's gonna go out there and throw 45 times. We know that for a fact, but at the same time, we know with that defensive back, that whole secondary that they got going there, we know they're young and talented, and they've been strapping up a lot of teams this year. And that's just the truth, man. They've been holding a lot of teams to not no passing yards, but minimal passing yards. And I mean, if Sam Howell is the turnover master that he's been all year, he's definitely gonna cause some turnovers, and it's gonna be an issue for them. I'm taking the Jets in this one at home.
I'm gonna actually take the Commanders in this one. I think there's a couple people that's coaching for their jobs at this point. I don't even know if they can even coach for their jobs no more. It might be a done deal with, Ron Rivera being out of Washington. But I think it's just so much on the line for that coaching staff. They're going to have them ready to go. As opposed to the Jets, I think this season is just a wash for them. I think everybody is pretty much safe, because they put Artie Basket into Aaron Rodgers, who did get activated, but he's not going to play. He did get added to the active roster. But yeah, I just think this is one of them games for the Commanders. I think it just means a little bit more for two teams that are out of the playoff race at this point. So I'm going to take the Commanders to get the win in this one. On to the next game. We got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans. Who you got winning this one?
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, man. Especially since they just took down my team. They have been looking good, bro. They've been playing good. They haven't been, they definitely didn't look like they had Drew Lock playing for them last week. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, that's something to cover. You feel me? We covered that already. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks, bro. Coming off a big one like that, I feel like they're going to just run it back.
Yeah, give me Seattle as well. They finally snapped that 4-game losing streak that they had. Got back in the win column with a big win with Drew Lock on Monday Night Football.
They did lose 4 straight.
Yeah, two to 49ers, one to Cowboys, and one to the Rams. Yeah, so I think Gino will be back for this one too. I think they get back into that win column. They got some things figured out. They beat a very good football team. We'll see if they still a very good football team on Monday Night Football. So yeah, give me Seahawks to win in Tennessee and to pretty much another team that control their destiny in the playoffs. So we're gonna see what happens there for a team that's trying to make a playoff push. On to the next game. We got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This is two teams that are trying to vie for a playoff spot right now. Who do you got winning this one?
I'm going to go with Indianapolis, bro. I'm going to be honest. I feel like with Atlanta's loss last week, that kind of choked them up for winning their division and even having a shot at making the playoffs anyway. So I really think this season's over with. Indianapolis, they still have a shot. They still have a chance. So I'm going to take Indy in this one. I feel like they got a lot more to play for at this point.
Give me Atlanta to be at home. I think they get it done. This is a team that's been very up and down. I like Indy as well, though. They've been playing very good this year. Given that their rookie quarterback was out for the season now. You had Gardner Minshew step up, Shane Steichen trying to set up a new culture without, his best player arguably on the team and Jonathan Taylor not being there, not being healthy for most of the year. But give me Atlanta at home to get it done, get it figured out. They get that running game going with Bijan. He got knocked out early, in that last game. That hurts them a lot because I think they used Bijan a lot in that offense. But getting him back would be big. You still got Algier. You still got Drake London, who's been coming on of late. As long as Desmond Ritter can stop turning the football over in the red zone, I think this team would be okay. And I think they get the dub against the Colts at home. On to the next game. We got the 6-8 Packers traveling to Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the 2-12 Panthers. Who you got in this game?
I'm gonna go with the Packers in this. Now, don't get me wrong, the Panthers, they have been a little scrappy, but the Packers, they're another one of them roller coaster teams, kind of like the Bills that I've been talking about, bro. There's some weeks that they want to play great and they want to take down great opponents, and then some weeks they want to look terrible and they want to lose to like the Falcons. So we got to see with this one, but I just feel like this is gonna be a week that they're gonna play great against a pretty bad football team. So I'm gonna go with the Packers. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers.
Yeah, give me Jordan Love and the Packers as well. Carolina, they're scrappy. They got a good scrappy win last week against a divisional opponent, but I think the Packers get it back rolling, especially that defense. That defense has been their Achilles heel. Jordan Love has been playing very, very good football as of late. That last game was not on them. It was on their defense not being able to get a single stop against Tampa when they needed it last week. I think, they get some of that integrity back going against this atrocious offensive line that they got in Carolina and these receivers that are okay, but they're not good or not great. So give me Green Bay to get the dub on the road at Carolina. On to the next game. We got a divisional matchup. We got the Detroit Lions, who are 10-4, traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings, who are 7-7. Who are you taking in this one?
Give me Detroit. As long as Jared Goff plays good, bro. Oh my God, bro. He's such a up and down player. But give me Detroit in this one. I feel like Minnesota just still got a lot of issues. Jordan Addison is that guy. Don't get me wrong. He's gonna be a great, probably the best number 2 in the game next year. After the best receiver in the game next year comes back. Because I don't think they're gonna activate him for the rest of the year. I think he's sitting out. I think he's over with. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit in this one, man. They want to solidify this season with this. They want to solidify their playoff picture. So I feel like they're gonna go out there and get it done.
Yeah, give me Detroit as well to get it done on the road at Minnesota. I just really don't trust Nick Mullins too much. You could save me with that. I just think this team is playing very good football right now, and they still got a chance to even push up to the number 2 seed. Given the way that the two teams in the NFC East are looking at both coming off losses. So, Detroit is still trying to, even though they probably got the division on lock, they're still trying to vie for a solid playoff seed. So hopefully they could get, if they get a win, Philly or Dallas, they both stumble up. Lions push up to that number 2 spot. So that's what they're fighting for right now. So giving the Lions to beat the Minnesota Vikings on the road. On to the 4:00 games, the evening games. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the 7-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Give me Tampa at home, man. Give me Tampa at home. I feel like Baker gonna come out with another outing. Come on, put on a show. Y'all know that offense, like I was saying last cast, man, that surrounding cast for Baker Mayfield has really been helping a lot. They could come out and play the way they was playing the last couple of weeks. They're gonna be fine, I'm gonna be honest with you. And Jacksonville, like we said a million times, Jacksonville is in their own way. That's really all it's been. They've been more of the disappointing teams for me, at least. The record might be pretty good still, but like I said, I was expecting a lot more out of Jacksonville. They just haven't been getting it done. I'm going with Tampa at home.
Give me Jacksonville.
Big playoff implications too.
Yeah. So you got Tampa Bay, who is the number 1 seed in the NFC South right now. You got Jacksonville, who is the number 1 seed in the AFC South, but they're tied with 3-way tie with the Colts and the Texans. So for that reason, giving the Jacksonville Jaguars to get back in the win column. I think they're on a 3-game skid right now. So I think, this is a game they need just to get the ball rolling. I think ETN, Ridley, Evan Ingram, they all have pretty good games. They show up And it was some bad turnovers in that last game. I think Trevor Lawrence cleaned some of them up. He's I think 3 weeks removed from the ankle injury now, so his ankle should be a little bit better, get a little bit more mobility than he's been having in recent history. So I think with that time off and the must-win situation that they're in right now, I think Jacksonville gets the job done on the road in Tampa. Coming up next in the 4 o'clock slate, you got the Carolina Panthers traveling to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. Two teams are out of the playoffs, but they have a couple things they're playing for themselves. A couple quarterbacks that they got questions on. So who you got in this one?
I'm taking the Cards in this one. I think the Cards are definitely the best team out of all teams with 10 or more losses. So they've been scrappy all year. They have shown that they could stick around with the best. They just can't close the door and finish games out. I'm going with the Cards. I feel like they have a little bit less flaws than the Bears, who are just full of flaws.
Give me Chicago in this one to get it done at home. I like what I've been seeing from Justin Fields lately. Justin Fields has shown that can be a legit quarterback in the NFL since he came back from that injury. He's been playing very, very solid football. He got DJ Moore. I think they've been, building a connection up more and more over time. You got Montez Sweat, who's been amazing since they traded for him on that defensive side to shore up that defensive side, made that side of the ball a lot better. I think this team has been scrappy when you look at some of the games. They just lost to the Browns in the close ones that I felt like they could have won. They beat the Lions. They beat the Vikings. Then they lost a close one to the Lions again. So that's their last 4 games right there. This team has been in all the ball games that they've been playing in. So give me Chicago to get the job done at home against Carolina Panthers. I do like what I've been seeing from Kyler. Kyler Murray has shown that, he is, one of the ones. He just doesn't have the talent around him, sadly. But give me Chicago in this one. On to maybe what we would say the biggest game of the week. You got the 10-4 Dallas Cowboys traveling to Miami to face the 10-4 Miami Dolphins. Two teams with question marks that say they can't be good teams. Who you got in this one?
No, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game. I think I'm gonna go with Miami at home, not just because they're playing Dallas, but Dallas plays very bad when they're not home. They definitely play bad on defense, which you cannot let up on this Miami offense. You let up, and they're gonna torch you. We know Tyreek Hill is gonna play. I mean, if their running back duo, Devon Achey and Raheem Mostert both play, they're gonna have a problem defensively. I'm gonna be honest. Dallas is definitely gonna have a problem defensively if those two play on top of Tyreek Hill playing. And as long as this Miami offense is healthy, this team's gonna fly. I'm gonna be honest. And then it's not like they have a slouch defense. You're gonna really have to move CeeDee Lamb around to get him open because you do know Jalen Ramsey is gonna follow him around all day. So I'm gonna go with Miami. I feel like it's gonna be a tough one. It's definitely not gonna be what the Bills did, but I just feel like they have less issues.
Give me Dallas on the road in this one. I think they get it done on the road. They hear what a lot has been said about them in the media, about them can't beat good teams, can't win games on the road. And then when you look at this Miami team, their whole entire offensive line did not practice Wednesday. They're beat up and down that offensive line. I think that's an indication that Micah can have a good day. Micah could have a good day. DeMarcus Lawrence can tee off. Osa Odighizuwa and the boys can tee off, and they could get after the quarterback. If they're playing with backups, I think at least 3 of them are guaranteed going to be out. We don't know about the other 2, so I think they're pretty beat up there, and I think that's where this game is going to be won and lost in the trenches. Don't get me wrong, Miami has a very, very dynamic offense that can score points as well, so I do see this being one of the more high-scoring games, but I think over time, as attrition set in, I think the Dallas defensive line wear downs that offensive line, that makeshift offensive line that they'll pretty much be having something come Sunday, not knowing who's going to be in, who's going to be out, just with all the injuries they got, and I think that could be a big problem for them. On to Sunday Night Football. I don't even know what to call it. We got the New England Patriots
Yeah.
primetime game against the Denver Broncos. Who you got in this one?
I'm going with the Broncos in this one, man. They're another team that they've been starting to look good down the stretch of this season, bro. They're making another playoff push as they should. Um, the Chiefs keep losing games. I'll tell you one thing. Shoot, they gonna have an issue, but no, I'm joking. They ain't gonna have no issue now with no Broncos. But Patriots, man, the Patriots been playing not so good at all. Bailey Zappi definitely looks better in that offense than Mac Jones does, but you still don't really trust him as a starter at all. He does turn over the football, and what we know is the Broncos is one of the best teams in the league at causing turnovers. So I feel like that's going to be a huge factor for the Broncos to take the dub. So taking the Broncos at home.
Yeah, give me the Broncos at home as well to get the job done against Bailey Zappi, who is really not that good to me, if I'm being honest. But that's day one boy, but he's there. He's not here to vouch for his boy, so I'm gonna trash him. I'm not the biggest Broncos fan either. They just have a better football team. As long as they can run a football pretty good, this team is pretty good. I'm not too high on Russell Wilson. As long as Russell Wilson can manage the game, that's what I feel like he's become, is more of a manager of the game than that superstar that people looked at him as. Cortland Sutton has been getting going lately. They really haven't been able to get Jerry Jeudy in the fold. Hopefully, they could get him going soon as they make this playoff push. But give me Denver to win at home on Sunday Night Football. On to the Christmas Day slate of games. First game of the day, the 1:00 game. You got the Las Vegas Raiders, who's coming off a game of 63 points scored, traveling to Kansas City to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got in that one?
I'm taking the Chiefs at Arrowhead for sure. They're a very dangerous team at Arrowhead, even though how shaky their offense look, not because of Patty, because of the freaking weapons that he got that just aren't consistent, can't catch the ball for their lives. But I feel like they're gonna get it done on this Raiders team. I mean, yeah, they just put up 63, but let's not act like they haven't been looking terrible all year. They have not been looking like a good team. And I don't think they got enough to beat the Chiefs, taking the Chiefs at home.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs as well. I mean, this Raiders team, they've had a good story, since they fired Josh McDaniels. They've been scrappy on the Antonio Pierce, but I'm not picking the Raiders to go into Arrowhead. Come on, they're not going into Arrowhead and upsetting Mahomes and them. Mahomes and them got issues. Don't get me wrong, especially the Kadarius Toney has been one of their biggest issues. But it's not just him. MVS, Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman really hasn't been in the fold like I thought he would. You got Christian Watson, who's okay. He's really not all that. The biggest key is really if they could get that Travis Kelce and Mahomes connection going. It hasn't been what we've seen it be in past years. Hopefully they could get that going against this defense right here. But give me the Chiefs to get it done at home on Christmas Day. On to the midday game. You got the New York Giants traveling to Philadelphia to face the 10-4 Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got in this one?
I'm going with my boys in this one. I feel like Tommy DeVito, he's not. I feel like Tommy DeVito, he's not really as good as, as he should be to beat the Eagles. I'm gonna be honest with you. Tommy DeVito, he's been playing pretty good for the Giants. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the Eagles got a little bit too much for them. Yeah, I'm going with my team.
Yeah, give me the Eagles in this one too. This is the type of matchup that they need, given the 3-game skid they've been on to the 49ers, Cowboys, and Seahawks. This is the type of team that you need to play just to get some things going, get some things figured out. So, build that connection up just a little bit. And, you mentioned Tommy DeVito. I think, as these teams get more and more film on them, they know how to stop them. That's what the case may be. You've seen it last week with the Saints. They only gave up 6 points to that Tommy DeVito offense. And, I get that this Eagles defense hasn't been very good all year, but I don't think Tommy DeVito is even on a caliber of what Drew Lock did last week, So give me the Eagles to get it figured out, especially offensively with that defense that New York got which is that has some holes in it. So I think, I think some of the turnovers that they've been doing these past couple games get cleaned up. Jalen Hurts could get some things going, get some things rolling, and they get back in the win column. On to the game of the week. Big Monday night, Christmas Day matchup. You got the Baltimore Ravens, who are 11-3, traveling to Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who is also 11-3. Battle of the two first place teams in their conference as well. Who you got?
This one's so tough, bro, because this is gonna be such a good game. It's hard to know what I'm gonna get out of this, but I gotta go with the Niners, man. They just been rolling. That offense is like unstoppable, bro. Christian McCaffrey is unstoppable. Debo has played with a chip on his shoulder since last season after that L, and he's just been rolling. I gotta go with the 49ers, bro. I will say this. I hope the Ravens win. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm rooting for the Ravens. I am. But I do feel like the 49ers are going to win this.
Give me the Niners as well. The Ravens do got a very, very good defense who's been playing very good football. But when this Niners offense is healthy and humming the way they're humming, I don't think anybody can stop them. The only people that can stop the 49ers offense at this point is injuries and turnovers. If you can't cause enough turnovers, yeah, I don't see you winning. Lamar and his Ravens offense has been clicking as of late. You got Zay Flowers didn't have too good of a game this past week, but for the last few games before that, he's been having a good season. They finally got it going with Odell. Isaiah likely has stepped up big in the absence of Mark Andrews, but I don't think this team has enough offensively to keep up with that offense that they got, especially on the road. So give me the 49ers to get the upset and get the dub on Monday Night Football. And that is it for our Week 16 picks of the NFL season. Let us know who you got, who you taking, who's your locks, who y'all think gonna win this weekend. We love to hear the feedback. On to the next topic. We got to talk about Ja Morant, who just came back from that 25-game suspension. Tuesday night, he had a big buzzer beater win over the New Orleans Pelicans. What do you think Ja Morant could do for this Memphis Grizzlies team? Do you think they could make a playoff push? What do you see from this team?
See, I'm not gonna lie, with Morant coming back and playing the way he did, if he could keep that consistent, I think they could turn the whole season around. They're 7-19 right now. They haven't been looking the best, and that's mainly because of his absence. But if you look at just like their next 10 games in general, they have a little competitive stretch. They have a little competitive stretch in the beginning of the year of the new year. But other than that, they have the Pacers, they have the Hawks, they have New Orleans, they have Denver, the Clippers, Sacramento, San Antonio, Toronto, and then the Lakers, Phoenix, and Dallas, and the Clippers. That's the stretch I was talking about. But out of those games, I'm looking at a positive outcome in the record if Ja Morant plays the way he was playing last game. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the prime example of a team that can switch it around from one player. And I mean, just looking at their upcoming schedule, they really could. I'm gonna be honest with you, they really could. They played a lump sum of their tough games already. I'm gonna be honest with you. And we're only like what, a quarter through the season right now. So they got a chance. They still have a chance as long as he could stay consistent with the play that he just did, that he put on last night. I see Memphis climbing back in this playoff race.
Yeah, first I start with the game. First, Ja Morant's first game back. Honestly, he struggled a little bit in the first half. He only scored 7 points, but that's understandable given that, to get it's one thing to be practicing with the team. It's another thing to be playing, full pace basketball. But once he got settled in the game, he went crazy. He finished the game with 34, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and the game-winning buzzer beater. That was his first career buzzer beater as well. So that was major as well. And Josh said he heard all the criticism. And I think, with Ja being back, I think this Grizzlies teams can make a push. Right now they're let me see. Right now they're 7 games out of the last play-in tournament spot, which is held by Phoenix right now. But what I see from this team with John Morant back is just a culture change, like a culture change, especially that Steven Adams is out for the year. You're eventually gonna get Marcus Smart back, so that's gonna help out a lot. You still got Desmond Bain, you still got Triple J, but I think as long as Ja, he could stay healthy. That's another thing with Ja. He has missed some games due to some injuries in the past. But as long as he can stay healthy, I think what he brings to this team, this organization, and this city is a lot. And I think you just felt the difference in that one game, even though it was on the road. But Ja being back is going to be huge. I really think this team can end up making a playoff push, getting into one of them playing tournament spot. We've seen this team being very good. I don't think they're the same team since they got rid of Dylan Brooks, though. I think that was a underrated loss for them. Some people, hate Dylan Brooks. He's not here today either to, talk about that. He be hating on Dylan Brooks, but I think some of that energy that left with him, Ja being absent as well, is another thing that did not help that. So yeah, I really think this team can make a playing tournament spot. If they get in, I don't know. I really don't know, but I can see this team getting hot, getting on a run, and putting the league on notice. They've been a team that's been there as of late for the past few years. They did, like I said, lose Dylan Brooks, but Ja changes a lot for them for sure.
That's a fact.
Let us know what you think about Ja comeback, his return to basketball court. What do you think it means for this Grizzlies team? Do you think they can make a playoff push? Do you think they got a chance? If they do get into the playoffs, do you think they got a chance of being a contender? Let us know your thoughts, your feelings on what you think this Memphis Grizzlies team can be. On to the college football landscape. National Signing Day was this week. A lot of players committed. A lot of players flipped schools. A couple players are still up in the air. A couple schools is making a push for after a couple of these big names. So let me just hear a couple of your takes, what your thoughts is about the flips, the rankings of these teams right now. What you think, Dennis?
Well, I'm gonna start with a couple of the winners and losers that I thought. I'm gonna start with a couple of the winners and losers from today, from this signing day that I feel like really, some of them really dropped the ball on losing some of the players that flipped, and then some of them really gained a lot of great ones. One that I will say is a winner, but people could think is a loser is Georgia. People might think that Georgia's a loser because they lost the number one quarterback in the nation and Dylan Raiola, but they did get a flip, the number one safety in the nation, KJ Bolden, and he's a game breaker. He's another player that can honestly play his freshman year and go and be something great for Georgia. So that was a great flip that they had. Another winner that I got is, of course, Nebraska. Nebraska getting that flip of getting Dylan Raiola. That is huge for your program in general. We talked about how Matt Rule went and told the press, told all the donors that if you want to get a good quarterback in, you need at least 1.5 mil. I'm guessing the donors brought that in. They was able to flip Dylan Raiola. That's great for the program in general, just because a quarterback like Dylan Raiola, that brings in recruits. When you bring in a top quarterback like that, that also brings in top receivers, top running backs is going to want to come there to play with him. O-lineman going to want to block for him. That's going to be a lot of things to switch over in your offense. That is a huge win for Nebraska. Another winner I got is Nick Saban and them Tide, man. They kept a lot of their players that was initially committed to them, which is great. That's always good. You got players that you recruited that committed to you off the jump, and you got them to stay. That's always great. But they have some flips. They had a couple flips. They flipped the 4-star running back, Kevin Riley. He was committed to Miami most of the time. So he came and he flipped today. And they also flipped the 4-star athlete, Aaron Hamptons. I think that's his name. He's from Texas. And he was also committed to Texas. So that's 2 huge flips for Alabama. We love to see. We just talked about this year on how this might be one of their, less athletic teams that we see them have. So it's great to see them really come back and jump on the big rankings as far as what I've seen with these players that they got, there's some really good players. Another winner, my squad, Ohio State, I feel like they definitely is the number winner. Another winner, they got a lot of commits that they've been had committed to stay, especially the big one, number one recruit in the nation, and Jeremiah Smith. He's a game breaker at receiver. His film just stands out. He's a big player, bro. He's definitely gonna be a one to shine his freshman year, immediate player. It was a lot of speculation of him flipping and going to Miami. He beat that, ended up staying. So that's a great one for them. Couple losers that I got though. Florida is definitely a loser for me. They have lost 3 of their recruits to flips. I mean, Florida, man, they got to do something coaching wise to bring these players back in and get these top recruits to stay with you guys. I mean, that's another reason why they've had a slate in SEC in these last couple of years, just because they haven't been able to bring in the guys that they usually bring in. So that's a bad one for them. UCLA is another one that I think is one that, they dropped the ball with this recruiting. In general, I think that's going to be another team that's going to have to hit the portal. If you ask me, UCLA is definitely going to have to hit the portal after losing, Dante Moore to the portal themselves. So they're going to have to bring in some players from the portal. I don't even think Signing Day was going to be a good one for them just because of how many players left. Anything from you, bro? Anything you got? I mean, I got some stuff. You feel me? I always talk about college, but anything you got? Like,
I was just letting you roll real quick. I was gonna get mine off for sure.
Another one. Auburn. I think Auburn is another winner. They had that flip from Florida. They had the running back flip from Florida to go to Auburn. That was a great one. Auburn did keep a lot of the commits. I feel like that's always the main thing. I think the main thing with today is keeping the ones that verbally committed to you to start, because those are the ones that's committed to your program for real. Those are the ones that really, really want to come and play there. They didn't let no other school swipe them. So I always feel like those are the best ones. Yeah, as more players flip, as more players commit, you see a lot more players going to enter that portal. I mean, that's just how it goes in college football right now, man. It's looking a little real shaky.
Yeah. So it was one that you didn't mention. We don't know what's going to happen yet,
For a
but
5-star tackle.
Jordan Seaton did not sign his NLI last final letter of intent. He's been in talks with Maryland. I think that's a big one. That's big news. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a fan of it. Why would you go on national TV, say all you said about Colorado, then, do this, especially on national TV. I get if you've been, committed for a while and you want to flip, a couple players done did that. So I wouldn't be mad at that, but I think it's about optics and how you go about it as well. And the fact that you didn't show in NLI yet, I think that's a big concern if I'm Colorado. I think another big winner was Oregon. You get a top 5 defensive end, top 5 defensive tackle. You get 2 receivers to flip, one from Ohio State, one from USC. You done already brought in Dylan Gabriel. You done brought in Dante Moore. I think that was a big one as well, just to boost up that offense, given that you got some players leaving this upcoming season. You already mentioned Georgia. They got the number 1 even though they lost the number 1 quarterback in the nation, you still got the number 1 corner in Alex Robinson. You got the number 1 linebacker in Justin Williams. You got the number 1 class overall as well. And then the major flip of KJ Bolden flipping from Florida State to Georgia, I think has been massive as well. I think another one that's been underrated, that's been going underrated throughout today is Miami. Miami been getting a lot of players to come down there to play for them.
That's a fact. I meant to bring them up too.
They flipped the defensive end from Florida State. They flipped another defensive player from Florida. I think they got a couple players that's coming through that, there was another one. There was an underrated one that was lurking in the shadows over this signing period. I think one of the losers is USC, for the simple fact, one, you lost a 4-star receiver. You done lost your quarterback of the future. Your quarterback of the current is probably going to the draft. You tried to make a push at the end of signing day to try to get DJ Langway away from Florida. but it came unsuccessful. Now they're spiraling, looking for that quarterback who's going to be their quarterback of the future moving forward. Then you got Bama, who got them a 5-star, and Julian Sand. I think that's going to be major.
Officially a Bama fan because of that.
Man, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Listen, they finally got, not to say that I don't like Milroe, but you get, a high caliber quarterback, which you're used to having these past couple of years. So I think that's big for them to get a player like that in. Then you get a 4-star running back from Miami. You get a 4-star athlete from Texas. I think that's major as well. And then for Ohio State, you was able to keep Jeremiah Smith in-house. Florida State was making a big push on him late, but he stayed committed.
And Miami.
Huh?
And Miami.
Yeah, Miami as well made a big push on him late, but he stayed committed to Ohio State, and I think that's going to be major. He should be the next of one of the receivers coming out of Ohio State if you look at what he did this college season. And I think a team that was underrated, UCF. I got to give a shout out to UCF. They got the second best class and the Big 12, only behind Texas Tech, because Texas Tech got that 5-star. They got their first 5-star. So that pushed them over UCF. They did lose one of their receivers. He flipped to West Virginia. That I think hurt them. But they brought in the second best class in the Big 12, and I think that's going to do wonders for them as well as their second year in the Big 12.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. That's going to be great for them.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for signing day of college football. Let us know what major moves your school did, what you hype about, what you disappointed about, and the moves that your school made. Are you optimistic for next year, or are you hoping they pull some guys out the transfer portal? But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us on this episode of Before the Horn podcast. We appreciate the love and support we've been getting as of late. Make sure you keep showing love, like, comment, subscribing. We can't do this without y'all. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Before the Horn Podcast, TikTok and Twitter at Before the Horn Pod. Dennis, what you got to say?
Yeah, man. Y'all know y'all can do y'all part in supporting us on our Patreon, man. That's the best way to get to us. We are regular people that work 9 to 5s, man. Let me redo that. And as y'all know, y'all can do y'all part in supporting us by supporting us through our Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You guys can support us through Patreon. That help us out a lot. We're regular guys. We work regular 9 to 5s. We just take out our free time to bring out this content, talk about stuff that we love. On top of that, Patreon is the best way for you to get in contact with us personally, talk to us personally, talk about sports, chat, argue, whatever you want to call it, man. Patreon is the best way to go. On top of when we get that merch in, we get these shirts and hats in. Patreon is the best place to go for discounts and for free merch. I really think you guys check it out. It helps us out a lot. But y'all know we appreciate all support from any content.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure you follow us. Our personal Instagrams, they is listed on the screen below. And like I was saying, we appreciate the love and support. Make sure you keep showing love. Till next time.